All right, welcome to another episode of It's Debatable. I'm Jalen with my co-host Justin and Sebastian. Sebastian P, how y'all got chilling?
Yeah, chilling.
Yo, I'm good, man. I'm ready to talk basketball. Did y'all enjoy y'all Thanksgiving?
Of
Yeah,
course,
for sure.
of
All right, that's
course.
good to hear.
Yeah,
Cool.
so we gonna go straight into it. Um, Unless you've been living under a rock, the Celtics have been on fire as of late, winning 12 out of their 13 games. Been on an impressive win streak as of late. So I guess the biggest question is it fair to say that the Celtics are like the lead favorite or like the best team in the NBA as of right now? And I'm gonna start off with Sebastian.
Coming in right now, I would have to say yes. Picking up where they left off from last season. Um, you seen how last season around this time they was struggling. Then I guess Jalen Brown put out a cryptic tweet saying the energy is about to change, and ever since then they haven't looked back. They've looked excellent on both sides on the floor. Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown has found that way to make it work. Like it's fully clicking now on where they stand. With Jalen Brown averaging 25 and Jason Tatum averaging 30. You have a whole bunch of bench contributions, and they should be looked at as a league favorite to make it back in the finals.
All right, and then Justin, going towards you, how do you feel about the Celtics?
I would not say that they're a lock to make the finals. Only because, well, actually, there's just two teams that I feel that can actually give them a run for their money. I feel we guys still remember the Milwaukee Bucks that are second in the conference right now. I think they're at 12-3, right? Like I think that's their record. Sorry if I'm mistaken. But they're doing this all without Chris Middleton, who's yet to be back up in the line for them. I feel once he comes back, he's gonna add more floor spacing for Giannis and Antetokounmpo to get those easy lanes to the basket. It's just gonna relieve a lot of pressure for him. He can give you 20 a night, and we're in the 3 point era, so he could definitely help them out in that department. And just also the Cleveland Cavaliers. I feel that Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland have been a seamless fit together. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, that team get balls to trouble. Shout out to I like everyone on roster from Marcus Smart to Derek White to Malcolm Brogdon. They doing all this also without Robert Williams. They still need him to come back. I think once he comes back, he will be that defensive anchor down low that's gonna make them just more of a threat in the Eastern Conference. But if it just comes down to are they just the lock right now? I still think there's just more of the season to go on. So I can't say that they're the lock yet.
All right. From my standpoint, I definitely have to say the Celtics are a lock. I don't feel like there's any other team really up to par with the Celtics as of right now. Um, like I said, this team's been assembled for about 5 plus years with their new additions with Malcolm Brogdon, Derek White, and others. Like I feel like they just complement their play style. Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, Al Horford. They all been familiar with the way they wanted to play for 5 years plus. They all have good chemistry together. Feel like I said before, Jason Tatum kind of took that next step off that finals run. I feel like you can see the hunger. He's way more improved in a lot of areas. I don't feel like there's one flaw in his game as of right now. Jalen Brown, he's he's been taking the second role, but he's averaging like nearly 26 a game as your second best player, which is outstanding for the most part. And I feel like there's really no other team that's really on up to par with them as of right now. So I would say as of right now, they would definitely be a lot. I don't really feel um there's any other team competing with them. I feel like they're on a different echelon than all the other teams. I feel like a lot of other teams are trying to figure it out, but I feel like the Celtics really already have it figured out for themselves and how they want to play.
Can I ask y'all? Do y'all like right now? Do y'all think they will finish as the number one seed in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had it as my predictions.
Okay, okay. Seb, you said yeah too.
yeah.
And where do you have
I had
them?
them second though, but Philly was just.
I think I had them second. I think I had them. No, no, or do I have them third? No, I think I had them at second or third, but I remember I knocked them down because I thought the Ime Udoka leaving would just hinder them on the defensive end, but I was completely wrong on that. So shout out to the new head coach that took over. I'm forgetting his name right now, but he's done a great job. To take over that role.
All right, all right. Yeah, so big shout out to the Celtics and all the success that they're having. On to the next subject, we have their counterparts that they've went against the Eastern Conference Finals last year, the Miami Heat. We've been obviously seeing that they've been struggling. There's been some inconsistencies with the lineup and everything. Um, Kyle Lowry's the second in like minutes played per game, but they still have been struggling. They can't seem to gel well. They've been losing a lot of games as of recent. So, what do you guys think is the biggest problem for the Miami Heat? And I'm gonna start off with Justin.
For me, I just feel well. Just it's still relatively early in the season, but I just think there's just been a lot of people just in and out of the lineup. Bam Adebayo, he hasn't played all the games. He's definitely missed some. Jimmy Butler has definitely missed some games. He just got Tyler Hero back, so I think they haven't just gotten that continuity and that chemistry that you're going to need to make a deep playoff run. And just another thing for me, I think this is something that we addressed in previous episodes from all of us was that they didn't make any moves in the offseason that particularly made them better. I'm also forgetting Victor Oladipo hasn't even played for them either. He's been still out with his injury. He hasn't made his season debut.
Hmm.
So, but then even when he comes back, I still just think their bench is kind of thin. Duncan Robinson is either hot or he's not. So he's just just in it. He's just in and out of the rotation. Gabe Vincent is an okay backup, but I just don't think you know it's just enough. And then Kyle Lowry is playing better as of now because Jimmy Butler has not been playing, so he's had to take a bigger role. Shout out to him, but I just feel when Jimmy Butler comes back, that's when he takes a step back. And which when it comes to playoff times, he doesn't show up. So I'm looking at the deadline now. I'm not sure if it's either the second to last year on his deal or it's his last for Kyle Lowry. But I'm just looking around the deadline to try to make a move to move him to just get a deeper roster for this team to make a playoff run, in my opinion.
Okay. So,
I have two wins for this. I'll start off with the front office. Coming into last year, they was first in the East. Made that run. This was the second time in the Eastern Conference Finals, and coming off that, you would expect them to at least make more moves to add a little bit of more depth or a little more flexibility to their roster. I mean, when you lose a guy like PJ Tucker, who really could guard 1 through 5, it really does affect you. Then you have to implement Caleb Martin. So that's kind of like a whole switch at the four, I believe. You expect your guys to get better in Bam and Tyler Hero. I haven't really seen that happen as of yet. When I really look at it, another person I really blame is like Jimmy Butler because I feel like he's having a relatively pedestrian season because he's averaging 20 points a game right now. Coming off the Eastern Conference Finals where he averaged around like 27, 9, and 8. You would expect him to take that next leap into having an MVP type season. I just feel like he hasn't taken that step. I feel like he's just cruising through the season as well. So those are the two people I have to blame for this.
yeah, to you guys' points is more so on my end, like people being in and out of lineups, and also too, I feel that um this team is really up in the air as far as like I wouldn't say who team is it because we know it's Jimmy Butler's team, but I feel like at certain points it's like other people are supposed to be shining that are not. Like Tyler Hero, it's kind of like I would kind of say like your solid second best player. I don't really say Bam is the second best player, which is kind of like a bad thing because Tyler, you have Tyler Hero coming off the bench and everything, but Bam Adebayo has kind of been lackluster. I really don't feel like there was a certain point where I feel like Bam was like one of the top big men in the league, but I feel like it's been real quiet, slow. I don't know what's up with him necessarily. I don't feel like he's that demanding present as he was like once they made the finals and all that. Kyle Lowry really, I've been seeing Kyle Lowry try his hardest to win these games, and in all respect to Kyle Lowry, I definitely seen him have several like 9 assist games. Had a big game against the Wizards, like 30 points, and they still lost. He's trying his best. So I definitely shout out to him coming off the last season where he was like in and out the lineup, injured, and then in the playoffs he was playing lackluster. So I definitely like that he's coming back. So I just really feel like everybody's on a different page. Like from Kyle Lowry's ready, but then you got Bam up in the air. Like Tyler Hero has his spots sometimes, and then Jimmy Butler just it's like mid. I would just say he's kind of mid right now, playing like mid.
Pedestrian
Like
like, right? Like
yeah, like he's
you'd
just
expect
there.
somebody that had that playoff run to come back and just have that
Yeah, like
intensity.
everybody's not on the same type of time. Like everybody's not gelling. Like Victor Oladipo's not in the lineup. Like it's just like not everyone's on the same page, and like Justin said, everybody's in and out of lines. It's hard to get on that consistent page with everybody. So definitely, I would say that's kind of the biggest problem with the Miami Heat more so.
Right.
But moving on to the next, we have the top five teams of the week. All right, so we're gonna go straight into this thing, man. Hold on, let me pull the screen up.
Let's make sure it makes sense this week, man.
It makes
Let's
sense every week,
get
man. So I guess it kicked me out.
what the hell just happened? Oh, you trying to
Right.
screen mirror?
Yeah, do you guys see it?
Nah.
All right, that's it. All right, so no picture then.
All right, so just get into it then, bro.
Yeah. All right. So for number five, I have the Memphis Grizzlies. So this week they definitely had significant wins against the Pelicans and the Knicks, both coming Friday and Sunday. Um, Currently the Grizzlies are eighth in points in the league, second in rebounding, 10 in turnovers, and then 10 in fouls per game. So they're definitely doing a good job defending without fouling. Um, Granted, the beginning of this week they did not have John Morant, so they did lose against the Nets and the Kings. But John Morant did play that game, so I definitely feel like they're doing a solid job. They're third in currently in the no, yeah, they're third currently in the conference. Um, and definitely outwithstanded some of the other teams that were previously on the list. You got to like once we get on, you'll see like what teams that they I had them over, but definitely feel like they're doing a solid job. John Morant averaging 20, 28, 6 and 7. Jaren Jackson getting back in the lineup, averaging solid 19 and 6. Desmond Bain, he's gonna be out for 2 to 3 weeks, but no, Dylan Brooks, no, yeah, Dylan Brooks averaging 17 and 3 and 2. You got Tyus Jones 10 and 4, and then Steven Adams with a solid 7 points and 10 rebounds. Doesn't mean he's gonna be out the lineup for 2 to 3 weeks, but he's been averaging a solid 25 points per game. I feel like he's a big contributor, but a big shout out to them. And then fourth, I have the Denver Nuggets. Currently they're on a 4 game winning streak, beating teams like the Clippers, OKC, the Pistons, and the Mavs. Currently, they're second in the league in field goal percentage, second in 3 point percentage, fourth in assists, and then fourth in turnover. So they've been doing a good job taking care of the ball. Um, you have 7 players in double figures. Nikola Jokic's been holding it down as well. I believe he's third in the MVP ranking as of right now. Um, he's averaging a solid 22, 10, and 8. You have Aaron Gordon, 16, 7 rebounds. MPJ You have 16 and 6 rebounds. Jamal Murray 16.5 rebounds. Bones Highland 15 points, 3 assists. KCP at 11 points per game, and then you have Bruce Brown at 11 points per game. I feel like they have solid contributors on the bench as well as in that starting lineup. At any point, anybody can have a 20-point game for them. And big shout out to Bruce Brown having his, I believe, his first triple double this week as well. So big shout out to him and what he's been able to accomplish. So third, we had the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, this week they had significant wins against the Mavs, the Cavs, and the Blazers, all top contending teams. So definitely have to give them some points on that one. Currently they're second in rebounding, third in blocks, five in fouls per game. Like I said, this team has been improving shooting wise as well. That's one aspect to look at. Giannis is back in the lineup, um, giving great dominant performances for them to win. Currently, he's averaging 30 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. And then you have Drew Holiday at 17, 5, and 7 for the team. Brook Lopez, 16 and 6. And then you have Bobby Portis at 13 and 10. It's really consistent overall since the beginning of the season. I feel like their averages really hasn't changed. Drew Holiday has been improving on the offensive end, playmaking for the team. So that's definitely one aspect to look at. Definitely like what they've been doing overall. Okay, and they definitely picked up the slack from last week because they are damn near about to be fourth. So big shout out to them. So number two on the list, I have the Phoenix Suns. The Suns this week, on a little win streak. They beat the Jazz, the Pistons, the Lakers, and the Knicks. Um, been doing a solid job overall without Chris Paul in that lineup. Like I said, Devin Booker's been doing a great job leading the helm for them. They're currently 10th in points in the league, ninth in 3-point percentage, sixth in free throw percentage, eighth in assists, fifth in turnovers, sixth in blocks. You got Devin Booker at 27 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, also hitting that 50-40-90 mark. You have DeAndre Ayton at 16 and 10, also player of the week this week along with Giannis. So big shout out to both of them. Then you have Mikal Bridges at 16, 5 and 3, also hitting that 50-40-90 mark. Then you have Cameron Payne doing a solid job filling in for Chris Paul at 14 points and this. So big shout out to them. I'm definitely looking forward to how they're able to withstand this lead. They're currently first in the Western Conference. I want to see are they able to keep at that steady pace, or will they flip flop once Chris Paul comes back, or anything else? Definitely want to see what transpires there. But number first,
Said number first. We already know, man. Just give it to us, man.
yeah,
Let's hear
yeah,
number one.
number first. We already said it. Like we already know the Celtics, number one in the league, first in points, fourth in field goal percentage, first in 3-point percentage, first in free throw percentage, 11 in assists, fourth in turnovers, 11 in blocks. They just cover too much. Like I said, they won 12 of their 13 games so far. This week they beat the Wizards, Kings, Mavs, Bulls, Pels. Like nothing really could stop them too much. JT on MVP watch, averaging 38 and 5. JB 26, 6 and 3. Malcolm Brogdon, 13, 3 and 3. Marcus Smart, 11 and 3. And then you have Al Horford, 10 and 6. All also too, Robert Williams is not in the lineup, but still, this is just a solid team overall. I don't feel like I said before, I feel like they're just on another echelon than everybody else.
Solid top five teams of the week. Not surprised to see the Boston Celtics still at number one. They have been the most dominant team thus far, so shout out to them.
Where the
Hmm.
Lakers at?
Nah, yeah. I already knew he wasn't gonna put the Lakers on right now because it's not too convincing just yet. But if they keep winning,
Because they played the Spurs 3 times. That's why I get. They played
listen,
this.
man, we're about to play the Pacers tonight and pick up another W. We won 5 out of our last 6, man.
Yeah, big shout out to the Lakers. I got definitely watching. Big shout out to the Nets too. Um, so moving on to the next.
Let's not
Um,
get into the
moving
Nets.
on to the next section of the show. Something we like to do here. The spoke too soon. So definitely a lot of topics throughout the NBA. From our predictions, the first half of is debatable. Um, so what you guys felt like you spoke too soon on, and yeah. So I'm gonna start off
Um,
with Justin.
oh, just to get it out the way, and it's not really just just trying to beat on a dead horse or anything like that, but I just spoke too soon because I remember I did have the Brooklyn Nets as the sixth seed in the Eastern Conference. I think they would just be a play-in team because I just don't think they're just gonna have that consistency. I feel something else is gonna happen to where Ben Simmons is gonna have to miss time, or Kyrie Irving is gonna have a off the court type of thing, or even Kevin Durant can miss time. We definitely seen that in the past previous seasons, but I had them as number six going into the season. I don't think that they will finish there. I think they'll be no higher than seven, but they will have to go through the play. I spoke too soon. The Brooklyn Nets will be a play-in team this year, but shout out to Ben Simmons who has been playing more well as of lately. I do like the aggressiveness I have seen from him. Him, actually yelling at Kevin Durant to take an open dunk and not the other way around. So shout out to him.
You want to
That
weigh in on that? I know you want to weigh in on that.
it's no disrespect. I think they would be a playing team. Like it's just that's just how it is. They win a game, they lose a game. Like it's just a little up and down for me. That's it. Like
Man,
I
I
respect it.
feel otherwise. Just because I feel like majority of the East has been playing like 500 basketball too as well. Because if you look at it, it's not too far off. Like every team is like 9-8, 9-10, like 8-9. Like it really switches up every week. So that's how I feel. Like so, like if they find some type of consistency, they can avoid it. But like it goes like for any team can really just be at a playing spot this year. I feel like the East is really like at its like really competitive this year. Well, it goes for
Definitely,
the whole NBA too, but just like for the East as well. Like,
definitely agree. Definitely agree. I feel like the East is definitely very close right now. As far as spoke too soon, what is your spoke?
let's put it like this: I spoke too soon when I had the Timberwolves making the playoffs, and avoiding the play-in. Just dating back to the first episode, I did feel like the Gobert acquisition was gonna be enough to at least put them in a fifth seed, a sixth seed as well. Looking in right now. um, with the sample size we got so far, it really just hasn't meshed well. I know that they're like, well, I say like 9-10 or around that point, or 9-11, because he just got probably smoked by the Warriors last night. So, just looking at it, it's just like they just look lost out there on offense. Um, Going back to what Justo said, that was correct. Rudy Gobert is clogging the paint, so guys like Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns are not really like getting the production that we are used to them seeing, dating back to last season as well. I feel like they should find a way to stagger the minutes between all these players because it just hasn't worked on the. Right now, it's currently looking like they could be a playoff team, or unfortunately, the way it's looking at the rate that he keeps going, that they could be out, that they could miss the playoffs potentially, and that's like a robbery on Utah's part for giving up Rudy Gobert and them getting all these pieces. Everyone thought that it could at least work on the fly, so I spoke too soon when I said that I had them at a playoff team.
do y'all think that it can come down to where they're gonna have to bring Rudy Gobert off the bench, sort of like a Russell Westbrook type of thing?
Um, I, I do feel like that should be at least experimented with, because at this point of the season, I do feel like you have to start making adjustment to at least win basketball games consistent wise. With the Timberwolves, we've only seen that they've played a certain. They've won games. They have games where they look good, and then there's games where they foul and look awful. So you have to find that consistency where at least you get at least a 3 game win streak, at least a 4 game win streak. So I feel like they do need to tour around with the idea of bringing Gobert off the bench to bring in a strong defensive unit in the second unit as well. So it's something that should be looked at. It shouldn't be even frowned upon if they do it, because I do feel like if you put him on the bench, now you're unlocking your offensive players' potentials.
Mm,
So I definitely do. I would like to see that move and see how well it would work.
I'm kind of against the bench thing because I'm not gonna lie. They gave up 6 players to the guy, and for him to go on the bench looks crazy on this
That's
team.
like the same thing with Russell Westbrook. We gave up a lot for Westbrook. You
Yeah,
gotta make him come off the bench to make it
that
fit.
that's 6. You leverage your whole bench just for a bench player is crazy. It's crazy. So
Sometimes
Like,
you just gotta find a way to make it work.
yeah, they
Darvin
gotta.
Ham wasn't afraid to make that move, and like it's benefiting just everybody in
but
general.
they didn't. Here's the thing that we had. I think that we went over everyone's head. They didn't have to make this move.
True.
They
100.
they did not have to. Now, I also heard someone say this. I think it was on the Bill Simmons podcast or something like that. They they traded for the wrong player. They could have gave the same package and got Donovan Mitchell.
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree.
I didn't even think of that. Like, so
True.
they literally just traded. It was the right pieces. It was the wrong
And they
player they
didn't
got
just
back.
full stock into Gobert. Which early
Mhm.
on I did believe, I thought it could work. Just feel me, but I just feel like it's just the wrong group of people like to have that. You don't really have that veteran presence. I feel like I can't really name somebody that's the leader, that's the vocal leader, and that's the veteran presence. To at least like, so I do agree with you when you had the Pat Beverly situation, because he would at least set people up to like, yo, you got to go. You're not doing this. Hold accountability. Yeah, I feel like there's no accountability in Minnesota right now. Everybody just walking around with their heads down whenever they lose. There's not nobody there to pick them up. I literally seen Draymond Green laugh at Rudy Gobert just for falling on the floor, bro. Like they're making it look like a laughing stock. So I do feel like there has to be somebody that steps in that says we're gonna try something different. Gobert, you're gonna come off the bench. I understand we gave up a lot for you, but it's not working out in the starting unit. So we're gonna have to put you on the bench and stagger your minutes so it doesn't interfere with our young talent. So like there has to be some way to fix this. You give up too much now at this point, and there's no going back. It's not like you could reverse a trade or do anything like that. The trade is set in stone, so you have to find a way now to play in basketball or playoff basketball, because you don't want to look back at this like, why the fuck did we do all this move for, and for not even in the playoffs right now. This is only our second time in the playoffs within like the past 10 years that we give up majority of our assets that are doing what they're doing on Utah now, that are actually showing up on Utah, and we're stuck here. We're seeing whether or not we're if we could even be in a plane.
Definitely right. For my spoke too soon, I say I spoke too soon when I had Ayo Desumu as most improved player. Now, listen, I still feel like there's opportunity for him to do that, but
Nah, that's dumb.
as of from what
Yeah.
I've
Nah, I'm playing. Nah, I'm
seen,
playing. I'm playing. Nah. But nah, it, hold on. He's not. Bro, there's been a lot of
Nah,
like.
nah, I'm
Look at
not
some.
playing.
Look at someone like Shea Gilgeous Alexander. That's a most improved player. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, Ayo Dosunmu's been at most okay.
he's been solid, definitely improved in like a lot of categories from his rookie year to his
You
sophomore
think
year,
that? You think
but
everyone's
not the
solid?
improvement like I projected it to see. And also, the Chicago Bulls been struggling like a lot. Granted, I feel like they've been picking up as of recent, but it's not because of Ayo Dosunmu. I feel
Nah,
like
they
you feel
can't. They
me,
can't.
him beating
They
out
can't close
everybody.
out games.
Yeah, yeah, they can't close out games, but I feel like him, like the start of the season, him beating out like everybody for that starting point guard position, like Goran Dragic, Kobe White, and everybody, and then Lonzo Ball being injured, and him having the opportunity to play a lot. Really thought I expected way more from him, but just haven't been giving me the production I expected. Big shout out to Patrick Williams though. I feel like he's kind of been more so like in the improvement aspect, been a better 3 point shooter for them, and defending as well. I see him have like solid blocks, like about like two
I don't
blocks.
like Patrick Williams.
Why not?
Like, what was he like, the seventh pick? Like he
Nah,
was
he's
like
like the fourth.
he was
And they
like the
try to give him.
yeah.
He's kind of
Nah,
a
I don't
comparison
like.
to a young Kawhi. I see potential in him.
Yeah,
No. I don't.
If
I,
you really
when I
watch
watch
his
him,
game.
when I watch him, I just don't really see too much from what I watch. Now I don't watch
I
every
mean,
single Bulls
you can't
game, but
really
from
see
what
too
I
much when you
watch,
have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan.
True.
You can't
nah,
really
I
see
just
too
like.
much. You got to take that. You got to take that back seat right now and just learn because you got
Mm.
guys that are solid in the league. So it's
I
like you're
just
gonna.
gotta see. I just gotta see more. I don't see people talking about Patrick Williams.
No,
Like
no, no.
I gotta see something more. Like I'm sorry when it comes to him, and that's just off topic. But you just bring him up. That just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't see shit from Patrick Williams, but that's just me.
I
So
feel like he's been doing a solid job for the team as well as the starting
you
power.
think everyone's solid?
Everybody's solid. You
You
think
think everyone's
everybody's
solid?
solid,
So I
bro?
don't
Yeah,
know.
Everybody trying to be
Everyone's
solid.
solid. Like I don't know.
yeah. I mean, he is playing. He is playing decent, but like I said, I thought I had projected I assumed to have a higher
I like.
thing this season as well.
They might have to play Kobe White over him. I like Kobe. I like Kobe White a little better than the Sumo.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Kobe White might gel a little bit better with the lineup, but yeah, I just projected way more. Maybe not this season. Maybe another season. I would assume would be an improved player, but I think I spoke too soon. I was really convinced too that he was going to be most improved, but things don't happen like they're supposed to, man. But on to the next segment.
I going
Um,
for most improved. It's
yeah, on to the next segment.
other.
Segment. Hash it or pass it, where we just bring up topics. We can either hash it or just pass it based on what we want to talk about. So first, we're gonna address the Lakers. Um, Justin, I know this is your favorite team. They have been winning. They won currently just won 5 out of their 6 games. So hash it or pass it for. I'm gonna start.
I'll just hash it. Shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers. This is why at the beginning of the season I had them as the number 7 seed because I felt like they would be playing like this at the beginning of the season. But at the beginning of the season, they was playing like complete crap. So they completely have turned it around. Russell Westbrook is just playing very well in that 6 man role. We definitely got some recruits back with Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder. I definitely like the energy that they have brought to this team. Austin Reeves has looked like he has found himself on the offensive end. LeBron James coming off his best game of the season where he had a season high 7 3 pointers, 39 points. He was very aggressive, let alone it was against the San Antonio Spurs. You got to beat the teams that you are supposed to beat, and that's what they're doing right now. Now they did take a loss to the Phoenix Suns. I already knew they was gonna lose to the Suns. I told you, Seb, they're gonna lose to the Phoenix Suns because the Phoenix Suns has just had our number over the last couple matchups. But they play the Pacers tonight. I definitely think that's another one that we should win. A report came out that the Lakers, um, veterans on the team, the high end players said that they feel they're just a piece or two away from being a legit contender. So let's see if Rob Pelinka could definitely pull the trigger and make a move. But shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they're just heading in the right direction right now. Shout out Darvin Ham.
So
Hash it off the strength that they definitely have been playing well. I feel like it's due factor to their schedule that they've been playing good so far. Playing the Spurs 3 times, that definitely could give you like an improvement on your record. But I feel like these are the games that they need to win and the games that they need to find some identity throughout the season. Coming in, they was just basing it off of this straight this defense and then trying to figure out on offense. They look terrible on the offensive side, just shooting like a bunch of threes and not being a good three-point teams. And retaining guys like Thomas Bryant and Dennis Schroeder definitely helps. So I like to see how they go out throughout the rest of the season. And another major key has been Anthony Davis playing like the player that he's supposed to be playing at when they traded for him. That's definitely been a major part of the Lakers' success so far. Coming in, he's been averaging around 30 and like 12 rebounds, looking like himself from when he first got to the Lakers that first year when they won a chip with LeBron. So I feel like if he does consistently play like that, then we should be seeing the Lakers in at least the playoffs this year.
yeah, same. I'm just hashing, but it's just more so just a big shout out to Anthony Davis. I feel like they're finally playing within their strengths. They're not really trying to do too much outside of like what they're strong at. I feel Anthony Davis really came back strong after all those injuries and everything. Even though they lost against the Suns, he had like an outstanding performance with the 30 and 20. Like I feel like You feel me? As long as he stay healthy, I feel like they'll stay afloat. But next on the hash and pass is staying on the Laker topic, the Pat Bev suspension against the Suns. So we all know that DeAndre Ayton was hovering over Austin Reeves, and then Pat Bev pushed him, and then as a result, Pat Bev had gotten suspended for about 3 games. So how do you guys feel about that? Start off with Seb.
I hash it. I like it for Pat Bev because it really just brings that mental toughness that you're missing from team. You guys need like a rough rider, that's somebody that's gonna be there to hold have their teammates back. You see it in guys like what Draymond Green all the time. Like you need that type of guy on your team. So I feel like for him, he's just standing up for his teammates. And if you even look at it before, the refs did not call no tech on Devin Booker for staring him down, for staring Austin Reeves down at first. Then DeAndre Ayton came
Smacked him in the face.
yeah, so Pat Bev took it upon himself to have his teammate back, and that's the type of chemistry that you need on this team moving forward to let everybody know that we got each other's back. So I definitely like that. And the suspension, I feel like it's only 3 games because of the history Pat Bev had with the Phoenix Suns, dating back to when he was with the Clippers when he pushed Chris Paul on his in his back, like feel me. So like just off the strength of that, granted it might be a little dangerous because if you see when you pushing guys in the back, like it definitely leaves them vulnerable. You see it with the Nikola Jokic situation and the Markieff Morris situation. Markieff Morris was out for like 2 months, 3 months. I don't even think he recovered back from that.
Hmm.
Fell completely off of rotation, so stuff like that. So I see where the suspension came through. But in my opinion, I feel like Pat Bev did the right thing. So like I hash it for that.
Hmm. Justo.
Um, I'll hash it. Free my guy Patrick Beverly after man. They definitely got my son locked up right now. Definitely free him. I think he just was just like Seb said, defending his teammate. DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker just looking over him while Austin was on the ground. He wasn't gonna let that happen. That's why one of the reasons Pat Beverly is on this team. No, I guess the suspension is warranted because it is a dangerous act, and just the climate of the NBA right now is just that can just not happen. So I'm not surprised it happened, but that's just Patrick Beverly. That's just what he brings to this team, and he'll be back. But now the next time you play the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker gotta watch out because you about to be next. He got Chris Paul, he got DeAndre, and Devin Booker is next, and we watching out for him too. Uh, um,
um, I'll pass on this one. I feel like everything was warranted. I feel like the suspension was warranted. I understand Pat Bev's in. Not too much to really touch on. Um, the next one we have Kawhi and PG out indefinitely for the Clippers. I'll go first on this one. As it may seem, even though like Kawhi is out and PG's out, for some reason I'm not too worried about the Clippers. I feel like they have a lot of weapons to that could last them to win certain games against like mid tier teams like probably like like not the Pacers but like some mid tier teams like the Bulls, the Nets. I feel like they could win those games with some of their lineups. Um, but for the majority part, I'm more so concerned about the long term thing because they can't just turn this thing on. I feel like both of these guys need to be on the court for them to gel well and to get chemistry to make a long playoff run. They can't just be a mid tier team. They We're like one of the favorites coming out to be like the first seed championship team. They definitely need to figure this out long term. Like right now, it's still the beginning of the season. Like you could still get by and win a couple of games to keep afloat, but this can't. This is. I'm not worried right now, but long term, I'm definitely concerned. And Justin.
I'll pass it. I only want to talk about people who actually play basketball on a consistent basis.
Chill out, chill out, Kendrick Perkins. He's like Mad Dog. You sound like Mad Dog.
I'm just
I
saying.
had it. I I hash it just off the strength that when you look at it, this is kind of something to be worried about because when you look at it in the long term, if you're the Clippers, you have an expectation of at least making it to the Western Conference Final and having at least a finals berth. this is not helping your case at all, because when you look at it now, you're gonna need to build that identity, well, that chemistry with Kawhi and PG on the floor, as well as all these players together. Then, as well as the seeding too, because everybody know home court advantage matters in the playoffs. As much as people don't want to say it does, it really does. So you can't put yourself in a position where you're at least what, fifth or sixth seed now, and now you got to keep playing these are away games, crucial game sevens that could be played at home if y'all took in the season a little bit seriously, stuff like that. Because all of us had the Clippers projected at, I say, second seed, first seed for those. Well, if you look at it now, their limit probably could be a fourth or fifth or even sixth seed. And shoot, we don't know how, like what time PG and Kawhi coming back. You don't know how sustainable these other players can hold up the fort to where they might be looking at a playing team now. So it just like I just feel like this just warrants everything that they do, and they're backtracking from where they want to go and retaining Kawhi and PG. It's supposed to only elevate your team, but if they're not on the floor, then now you're just trying to figure it out with a whole bunch of role players. And then now once they come back, now you're sorry about that. Now you're just diminishing the roles of all the role players as well. Like you see a guy like Zubac who just had a monster game. Can he do that with Paul George and Kawhi on the floor? You see guys like John Wall dishing the ball like his prime, like he's in Washington again.
Mm-hmm.
Still, can he do that? Norman Powell, he could erupt for like 20 points at any given time. Is he going to be able to do that when Paul George and Kawhi Leonard's on the floor? It takes away from their shots, and now they have to get back into a flow of being role players and not like feel me stepping up when it's needed. So I feel like that's just Tyronn Lue has a lot on his hands to deal with, being that both his two-star players that they signed for, that they traded away for to get Paul George and signed for Kawhi Leonard. They did all this. It's not on the floor right now. And granted, both are good at, are not even good at, are well-rounded players, but it just hurts the team in the long run, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. The next one we have is KD passes Garnett for 18th on the scoring list. How do you guys feel about that? Starting with Seth,
I'll pass it. And KD's a bucket. Everybody know that.
Justin.
Shout out to Kevin Durant for passing him on the list. I feel like Kevin Durant could, finish top 10 all time. He's one of the most gifted scorers we've ever seen. He definitely makes it look effortless every night. It's all about just staying healthy for him. But shout out to Kevin Durant and shout out to Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, big shout out to both of them. And then next, but not last but not least, we have the Pistons with their recent injury to Kate Cunningham, possibly tanking for Victor Wembanyama. How do you guys feel about the Pistons possibly tanking? Starting with Justin.
Um, well, I'll hash it. Just the injury to Cade Cunningham is just definitely a blow for the Detroit Pistons squad. I definitely like the young nucleus that they have there with Killian Hayes and Jalen Duran and Isaiah Stewart. But I also seen that they were possibly shopping Sadiq Bey, who kind of fell out of the lineup. So I'm not sure the direction that the Pistons are, particularly going in right now. Even if they try to tank for Victor, we all know that Adam Silver changed it to where the odds still wouldn't quote unquote be in their favor. But all they can do is just keep trying to win games. Dwayne Casey is definitely a good coach, and hopefully, um, Kate Cunningham could come back soon.
Seth.
I'll hash it. Coming into the season, nobody had no expectations for the Pistons. We like the young group itself. Well, everybody know they're just not ready as of yet to win or even try to at least pursue like playing like material. So when you look at it now, Kate Cunningham just injury just doesn't really affect how the season's gonna play out for them. I guess you get more minutes for guys like Killian Hayes, who definitely needs those minutes coming in, being drafted. I forgot where he was drafted at, but he definitely was a high draft pick. You haven't seen as much production out of him, so you're hoping to at least get something of that sort. You're looking for guys like Jaden Ivey to at least get more comfortable in the league, find his suiting, find his positions on the floor, find out where he's most impactful. So all that combined together is definitely going to lead to this tanking, but it's not like it's deliberately tanking. Like people can see what their season going to be projected out within, like I say, a 10-game radius or even a 15-game radius to see like where you possibly going to stand. So I just feel like the most they can do now is just go out there and try to build like a young core basketball. Try to see who they could shop, who they could retain. We all know that even if like they finish last, there's still no like guaranteed chance for Wabinyama, but they definitely could still get a high draft pick, maybe second or third as well. So I feel like they're just looking for the future now.
Yeah, to the same points you guys made, not too much was expected of them. I feel like with the Cade injury, Jaden Ivey has full throttle to go for that Rookie of the Year, see if he could squeeze out as much wins as he can, trying to get that award. But that's all I have for them as far as that goes. But that's gonna conclude this episode. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and also follow us on all platforms on the Instagram channel. It's debatable two underscores on the Twitter. Same thing. It's debatable two underscores. TikTok, same. Make sure you guys follow us on all platforms. Give us feedback. We definitely appreciate it. Any remarks from you guys?
Yeah, pretty much said everything.
Yeah, we out of here.
All right, man.